Hey everybody, my name is Shibby. I'm an esports colorcaster and Celestial ranked player in Marvel Rivals. We're going to do a bit of a different kind of content style, but I do want to continue doing these. We're going to do a bit of like a mid-season or mid-split review. I'm going to try to do these every half a split, right? So season 4, season 4.5, anytime they release a major patch change, I do want to kind of check in after a couple of weeks with how the meta is going, with what they've released, and kind of go over the roles and the overview of like the pros and cons I feel of this patch here. I'm going to start off with the Vanguard role because it's one of the roles I main. It feels like it hasn't really changed that much these past couple splits. Pretty much ever since Emma Frost's release, the tale of the tape has been that she, along with Magneto, have been the two best tanks in the game. I think Emma Frost across all ranks has like a 25% ban rate, which is really, really disgusting. So 1/4 of your games, effectively 1/4 of all the games played in Marvel Rivals competitive, do not have an Emma Frost, which is absolutely insane, right? Just kind of goes to show how strong she is globally. It doesn't matter what rank, whether it's Celestial or Diamond or Platinum or like Bronze, right? She's just too good. I know obviously you can only ban above golden up, but still, amongst those higher ranks, a lot of people are valuing Emma Frost, right? Her pick rate is very good as well, 23% pick rate when she's left open. The other thing that has been kind of surprising, or maybe not if you're anticipating this stuff, is how Groot is kind of coming back into the meta a little bit. I feel like the three most unfun tanks in the game have come back, right? Or stayed in the meta. Emma Frost, Magneto. I think it's really hard for Magneto to get nerfed. They already tried by nerfing his bubble health, but even then, right, he's just such a good jack of all trades. Normally, jack of all trades don't excel in anything, but Magneto is one of the best in pretty much every single facet of what a tank needs to be, right? He's a very good shield tank. He's very good at enabling his team. He's very good at defending his team, right? Bubble can be used to cancel ultimates. Shield can be used to cancel ultimates. His ultimate is a very high impact ultimate that can swing fights pretty quickly, has the ability to one-shot, right? He's got a very good burst combo, right? With his attack, right-click attack. It is very, very hard to nerf such a crucial character to Marvel Rivals, and one of, if not the only tank that can really truly function in a single tank team composition, right? Whether it's 1-3-2 or 1-2-3, Magneto is the go-to tank to function in those single tank compositions. Groot fundamentally kind of changes the way the game is played because of the terrain and what you have to do. You kind of have to answer it unless you have a way to walk around it, because this game is so lane focused, has like very small choke points, has a lot of deadly choke points. Like having Groot set up and having those walls set up, if you walk a little too far forward, especially with his range increases now, you can get boxed in and you can die and you can get stuffed out very, very quickly. And like your supports don't have the ability to shoot the walls down, so it almost feels mandatory sometimes to have like a Squirrel Girl, an Iron Man, a Punisher to deal with the walls, and even then it may not be enough. I am kind of interested to see that if people will pick up the dive that we've been seeing, or that we saw in the Marvel Rivals, mid-season international tournament, where Venom and Captain America were two of the dive heroes that became very, very popular in the Vanguard role. Obviously, you're coupling that up with stuff like Psylocke. If you're in solo queue, you can couple it up with like Magic and Black Panther. But it's really interesting to see that despite all the nerfs, quote unquote, that dive has gotten, it's still relatively good. Now, it only functions in a highly coordinated environment. I don't expect like silver players to be able to pull off dive as well as like celestial players or top 500 players. Even then, you need really tight communication, which is what those, pro level teams have. And that's why it's been banned out, because even the highest level supports, right, pro level supports, it's very hard for them to react to a Captain America Psylocke dive. And we'll get more into Psylocke in the DPS role later in this video. But it feels like the tank role just in general hasn't changed a lot. Is it still enjoyable to play? Somewhat. I don't necessarily not have fun playing the Vanguard role, but I would like other stuff to come to the meta. It was nice that Thing had the ability to deal with flyers, but I wish stuff like Doctor Strange, who got some buffs, was more prominently picked. I wish Thor got more buffs, right? I wish that there were tanks on par or equal level with Emma and Magneto, to the point where I can kind of like swap around and pick what I want. And not, as this is coming from somebody that plays Magneto, Emma Frost, Hulk, Doctor Strange, right, Thing. I play a good amount of the tanks, but it just feels like if I'm not picking Emma and Magneto, I'm kind of throwing the game. Now, when we move on to the duelist role, the duelist role feels a lot more varied, right? At least in terms of getting changes to the role and what's coming in and out of the meta. It still is kind of sad that Human Torch has been so dominant for so long. He's kind of in that Emma tier, where after he received those buffs and then has been been getting like slightly nerfed. It still isn't enough. Human Torch by far is one of the best DPS in the game. In a recent tier 2 tournament I casted, right, where a lot of the high level MRC teams and MRI teams are coming in, like they were banning Human Torch, right? Fundamentally, they just banned it away. They did not want to play against it at all. Both teams didn't want to play against it. So it felt really troublesome to kind of see how bad Human Torch is if it's just being banned away, right? I feel like the devs don't see enough of it, and because it's getting banned so much, the only data they have is that it's just getting banned a lot. But Human Torch is by far one of the best DPS in the game. Not one of the best flyer in the game by far. The movement is really disgusting. The ability to wiggle. You also have the cancels, right, where you use your auto and then you use your melee and it cancels and you get the auto attack back. Human Torch is just really good. Also has combo potential, dive potential, right? The amount of times in like Grandmaster or Celestial that I've been just dove on by a Human Torch. He dives on me. I'm like 250 HP or 3 HP support. He just dives on me, one-shots me, and then he gets out because of his movement and like how hard it is for even high-level hit scan players to track a Human Torch. Funnily enough, Black Panther has still been getting banned. I think he sits at like a 43% ban rate across all ranks, which is pretty funny considering gold and above has to ban him out. Black Panther, I think, is a little bit propaganda. I think a lot of people, and we've talked about this phenomenon where not enough people get practice against Black Panther, and when Black Panther does get let through, typically he tends to run the lobby. So a lot of people associate Black Panther with being OP because all of their experiences, or a majority of their experiences, tend to be very negative and tend to be the fact that like a Black Panther will just run them, right? It's unfortunate because I think Black Panther can be played around. I know he has some like quote unquote unreactable combos, but like they nerfed him a lot, or I would say a lot, but they nerfed him a bit with his dash timer. They also made his footsteps louder. If you are actively paying attention and like listening for him and scouting him out and pinging him out, generally your anti-dive heroes, whether it's Sting, Namor, Winter Soldier, whatever, can do something about him. You can also just run like Ultron compositions, and we'll talk about the rise of 3 support and how that's gotten more popular in Season 3.5. But yeah, Black Panther, I feel, is just riding the propaganda wave, and I actually don't know if he's ever gonna not get banned out, right? Because the stigma has been created, and he's just so annoying for a lot of people to deal with. And like I said, a lot of their experiences are very, very negative. Wolverine is still being banned out. That hero, I think, needs a massive kind of rework. I think him kind of nullifying pretty much the entirety of the Vanguard role, except for like 2, maybe 3 heroes, right? If we count like Emma, Magneto, and Thing being able to deal with him, that's about it, right? Like other than that, if you're playing any other tank in the game, you have to watch out for Wolverine if they are left open. And I think having a hero like that completely invalidates the role, or like completely destroys 70 to 80% of the role, is very toxic to the game. And in the same way that Black Panther is very hard to deal with for supports, Wolverine is very hard to deal with for a majority of the tank cast. And it's not the situation where, oh, just play better, or oh, just ping him out and stuff like that. It is very tough to play against a good Wolverine that knows what he's doing and is kidnapping you and stuff like that. It feels very unfair and unreactable at times, and you kind of have to rely on like you're invisible when pulling him, or you have to rely on your mag bubbling you or something like that. Other than that, with Duelist, a lot of people have been picking up on the Phoenix wave. They have now kind of understood that Phoenix's potential burst damage, and if you are as accurate as you are with Hela as Phoenix, you can just get out tons more damage. The ultimate is very good. More people are getting used to shooting the ultimate now. It only has 400 HP, which is really nice. So a lot of people are realizing that you actually can shoot it when she goes up in the air. So Phoenixes kind of have to start getting better with curving the giant Phoenix around buildings and doing that stuff. Because if you just ult in someone's face, at least in the games I've been playing, they will just shoot it down. Like it is very quickly going down here. So you have to be very, very careful on how you're using it. But the amount of Phoenixes that are just, destroying people, the damage numbers that they're racking up, they are almost always double or triple sometimes the damage numbers of their duelists. And it's not even that they don't have elims, right? They just build their ultimate up so quickly that it feels so oppressive to play against. And in the higher ranks, a lot of people are getting better at comboing damage boosts with the Phoenix, whether that is the Mantis, whether that is the Luna or the Rocket damage boost as well. You can straight up one-shot supports out of their ultimates, or one-shot individuals out of support ultimates. It is very, very hard to play against, especially if she lands it right on top of you The fact that it destroys bonus health kind of is an innate counter to stuff like Atom and Mantis and Luna Snow to an extent, obviously Rocket as well. But I feel like a lot of people have been picking up the Phoenix wave here. Also, I mean, Psylocke is still a dominant hero, right? I recommended a lot of people pick up Psylocke if you're a duelist, because I really feel like she's never going to truly fall out of the meta unless Rivals hits her with a huge nerf ban. So it is very interesting to see what they're going to do with some of the top duelists, because I feel like some duelists have been very popular for a long time, but the newer ones like Phoenix have been seeing a lot more play. I mean, if we look, like we filter, I think like Grandmaster or Diamond and above, we look at like pick rate and stuff like that. Winter Soldier is still being picked up. Namor is still being picked up when Hulk is available. Like Blade, as bad as he is, I have been seeing a lot of people pick Blade, and sometimes you can enable him, sometimes you can't. But I feel like the duelist pool is a lot more open, and they just have a lot more options to pick from. Now we're going to get to the strategist pool. And for strategists, it's the funny thing is it's same, but different, right? Same, but different. Like Loki, Luna, still two of the best strategist backline in the game, right? If you're running a 2-2-2 comp, Loki, Luna is very good. If you're running a 3 support composition, which I know a lot of people don't seem to realize has been coming back up into the meta. If we look at like all the ranks that are picking composition wise, 2-2-2 is still fundamentally the most popular. Its pick rate, I believe, is going to be at 61%. But the interesting thing is that 2-1-3, essentially 2 Vanguard, 1 Duelist, and 3 Strategist compositions, and 1 Vanguard, 2 Duelist, and 3 Strategist compositions, if you combine both of those pick percentages, respectively, I believe like 8.5% and 9%, that bumps them up to a 17.5% pick rate across all ranks and across all matches. Now, obviously, 2-2-2 is going to be at 61%. That's always going to be the default team composition that you're going to see. But when you combine those 3 support compositions and then the different variations that we see, that is the second highest picked team composition in the game. And then right below it is going to be the 1 Vanguard, 3 Duelist, 2 Strategist. So that's why you feel like you're seeing more triple support compositions, and why a lot of people are defaulting to triple support compositions. The Atom buffs and the Mantis buffs have made them more, much more reliable in 3 support compositions. I know they tried to push them into a 2 support role. They try to give their healing a lot more amps, right? They try to give them better ultimates, but that has just made them better, unfortunately, in a 3 support composition, especially with Atom getting his ultimate charge cost reduced enables him in 3 support compositions a lot more, because it doesn't take as long for you to get your ultimate. It still is going to take longer for 3 support compositions to get their ultimates fundamentally, because the healing is split across 3 people, but like Loki builds up very, very quickly. You can generally tend to stall out in 3 support compositions. I feel like the game and the meta hasn't really figured out how to adapt to it just yet. I am seeing people still play Magneto, obviously, into it, Iron Man as well. A lot of people have been trying to combo like Blade and Groot because of the reduced healing and the ultimates. Usually you want to try to run wombo combo ultimates into triple support compositions, or worst case, you do have to match with something, right? Whether it is the Ultron or the Atom. Now, in a recent tournament I casted, I did see a lot more of the Atom 3 support compositions. The res was really disgusting. Both teams eventually just ran Loki, Luna, plus Atom. So you can imagine how long the fights went, because it would be a Loki ult, which is both copying Luna. Then the Lunas would trade. And then if a big team fight wipe happened, Atom would ult, and then they would wipe, and then the other Atom would ult. And it was very disgusting. It was an absolutely insane sort of sequence of events when I was casting that match. And so I suspect that Atom is going to, still be picked. He's going to get more and more popular as people get better with it. You can farm Atom ultimates very quickly as long as you're hitting tanks and you're just healing your tanks. Like, it is actually really, really disgusting how much the support role hasn't changed, but also the heroes that we're seeing enable the stuff that we have always seen, right? Which is really, really overpowered support ultimates, whether it's Luna ultimate, Loki copying Luna. Cloak and Dagger is still good even after the ultimate charge cost nerfs. Atom is now good. Mantis is really good, right? I've been playing a lot of Mantis in my games. I've been finding a lot of success here. A lot of people are still a little hesitant when they see the Mantis, especially in 2 support compositions, but I think she can function pretty well here. So as long as you're damage boosting one of your good DPSs, like, they generally will pop off with the damage boost. It doesn't just have to be a Widow, right? It can be your Phoenix, it can be your Human Torch if he's up, your Iron Man, your Blade is what I've seen. I've been finding a lot of success with like teaming up with Blades and giving them that damage boost because they build that ultimate very, very quickly. Now, general overview of season 3.5, it does feel like a real season still. I felt like season 3, we didn't really get a real like triumphant, like, oh, this is season 3, everything's changed. It did kind of feel like season 2.9, like where some things changed. We got a new hero and all that. But season 3, at least for the most part, feels different, even if the base meta heroes are relatively the same. Like, you do have more options, and there is new heroes that you can play that slot in, right? You aren't just completely forced into playing the same stuff that was really good in season 2 necessarily. Though they are introducing a new game mode, which is Resource Rumble. It's kind of like Hardpoint / Domination. It is really interesting. It's like zones unlock, and then you fight for the zones, and as you control it, you gather resources. It's kind of like a hybrid between the Convergence Domination. It is virtually Hardpoint in my mind, with a little twist. I'm glad that they are not releasing it into competitive immediately. They are putting it into quick play. I have been very actually delighted with the cosmetics that they've been releasing for a while, right? I think they never miss on the cosmetics. I think they've released like another war chest, or they will be, with like the new Venom skin. They just released like a bunch of Winter Soldier and Hook and Dagger skins. Cosmetics wise, they're killing it, and they know that they have to keep killing it because that's their moneymaker and everything like that. But I do think Rivals kind of needs to come up with something very, very big in season 4. Doesn't necessarily have to be the hero has to be insanely overpowered or anything like that, but I think we need to see a giant meta shift coming through for us to really kind of revitalize the game. And it's really weird talking about it that way, but the game's been out for, over half a year now, and I feel like the same complaints we're seeing consistently are coming through, right? Like, oh, the same heroes are still kind of OP. Is there going to be new stuff? Are they going to like buff a bunch of stuff? What's their hero release stuff? With heroes releasing every month, the game is just fundamentally going to change, whether you like it or not. I'm also interested to see when that video releases. I think it's August 21st. We're recording this right now, August 19th, on their EOMM discussion, or whatever the matchmaking discussion is going to be. I've been vehemently against the idea that EOMM exists. I still think it doesn't exist. But I do think matchmaking issues arise not from the matchmaker inherently being bad, but the ranked system that we have, right? And the ranked system, I think, perpetuates a bad matchmaking system, because without ladder resets, true ladder resets in terms of like placements and stuff like that, people are just kind of floating around in the same ranks. And there's a lot of people that are in those ranks that, you and I have seen that probably don't deserve to be there, or maybe haven't worked as hard in the sense of like, they have like a 45% win rate or in Grandmaster, or they have like a 40% win rate sometimes in Grandmaster. And they are very clearly below the skill level of people that are supposed to be in Grandmaster, that are supposed to be in whatever rank that it is, right? Diamond, Platinum, whatever. So I think maybe, hopefully in that video, in addressing what the matchmaking is and the matchmaking improvements, they will also try and talk about what they're going to do for the future in terms of ranked points and how that works and how ranked looks in the future. Because I think ranked, if you fix the way ranked works, and if you fix the way points are gained and stuff like that, you actually come out with a much better system overall. And I think it inherently improves matchmaking, instead of kind of trying to tinker with each aspect of the game separately. You try to look at what is like the root cause. I feel like maybe Rivals and NetEase is kind of like band-aiding and patchworking the matchmaking system so that people get, people are more satisfied, which I think regardless of what they do or regardless of what happens, not everyone will be satisfied with the matchmaking. I think you're still going to get people that are complaining about imbalanced matches and stuff like that. Regardless if the Marvel Rivals players enjoy the matchmaking system, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do want to take a little moment to just appreciate all the love I've been receiving on my previous videos, whether it's in comments, likes, views, everything like that. You guys knocked out my previous subscriber goal out of the park. I was pushing for 200. You guys went well above that. My new goal is going to be 300. So again, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, as that all helps me out a ton. I try and respond to every single one of the comments in my videos because I generally do appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy schedules to leave one, as well as I love interacting with my own community. If you want to see more of my content, I stream over on Twitch about 3 to 4 times a week, starting around 7 p.m. PST. Over there, you'll get unedited versions of my videos, as well as we go over gameplay reviews, patch notes, and you guys can ask questions in the chat, and I respond pretty quickly. If you care more for short form content, I upload daily on both YouTube Shorts and TikTok. Over there, you'll get condensed version of my videos, as well as stream highlights and my general thoughts on the game. All of that will be in the description box below, as well as a pop-up that will show up on the right side of the screen here, telling you where to go and all my handles. I really do appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.